Six is an odd name. 007 was taken, so. Welcome to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, a weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, current and ex-movie theater projectionists, new and old friends, take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? Did we need another spy movie a la James Bond? Find out this week as we go deep undercover with The Gray Man from 2022.
The Gray Man. You got us some compromising information.
Lloyd.
Make him gone.
He won't be able to walk 10 feet without getting his head blown off.
You must be Lloyd.
What gave it away?
The trash stash.
Over here. I can kill anybody. Maybe not anybody.
Maybe not anybody. Joining me today is recurring guest Dan Sack Lunch Sekulich. Welcome back to the show, my man.
It's been a while, brother. Looking forward to this spot.
What was our last Mortal Kombat, right?
No, we did Top Gun.
Oh yeah. But I thought Top Gun was after. Was that after?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, then we did Top Gun the original.
We did Top Gun Maverick and then Top Gun the original.
Which, by the way, on Instagram, like
one.
The Top Gun Maverick stuff is by far the most viewed stuff on my posts, by the way.
As it should be.
Yeah.
As it should be.
It's an amazing movie. But I think that I forced this pick on you. We were going to do From Dusk Till Dawn. Why did we switch? Was I just... Because it was your pick, right?
I think it was going to be a tough find. And so I just kind of said, hey, you let me know if there's something else and we'll shelf From Dusk Till Dawn. Because I'll definitely want to do that. Shout out to my father because he's the one that suggested we do that. So I definitely want to do that one, but we just have to find a good streaming place.
I think I found it on HBO Max. I don't know if it's still there, but I have to double check. But yeah, we should do it because I've never seen it, which is crazy.
I've seen bits and pieces of it, so I would actually like to. But anyways, yeah, I would say you forced this on me. I mean, star-studded, right?
I know, but it was your pick, so I was like, hey, why don't we do this? But I feel like you should get the next pick as well.
Deal. We'll move it back to From Dusk Till Dawn.
All right, the description for this one. When the CIA's most skilled operative, whose true identity is known to none, accidentally uncovers dark agency secrets, a psychopathic former colleague puts a bounty on his head, setting off a global manhunt by international assassins. Directed by directors Anthony Russo and Joe Russo, the brothers Russo. Directors of such hits as Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Captain America, Civil War, and both Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame movies. So high-profile directors. Top billed stars are Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas, and Billy Bob Thornton. And I also want to shout out a barely recognizable Wagner Moura.
Yeah, one of Brazil's top stars.
Dude, I love that guy, man.
He is in probably the quintessential, like the best action movie from Brazil called Tropa de Elite.
Oh, dude,
it's about special forces in Brazil. It's such a good movie, dude, and he's great in it.
Reminder to the listeners: Dan is helming the pod from Brazil. That's why he knows so much.
Yes,
about
I am.
Wagner.
Yeah, he's.
I love that guy in
Elysium.
He played Escobar.
Oh, in Narcos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I know a lot of people gave him grief because of his accent, but I thought it was awesome.
When I heard that he actually was able to learn Spanish in 1 month.
Yeah.
Like he picked it up that fast.
Yeah. And people, I guess people who speak or native Spanish speakers were bothered by a part of his accent, but I thought he did an awesome job.
Well, and everybody thinks like you speak Spanish.
I do speak
can
Spanish.
Speak some Portuguese, right?
Yeah.
And like we could probably get by, but mostly with hand gestures. Like people think that Portuguese is very close to Spanish, and
it's not.
While there's a couple words in common, it's really not.
Dude, I was trying to learn Portuguese for a job offer that I never got, and it is not like Spanish. Like it sounds.
Oh man, it's a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, so there you have Wagner. How do you pronounce his last name? Mora?
Mora.
Okay. Mora. All right, there we go. Love that he's in this. Barely recognizable, for me at least. Runtime. Yeah, runtime of 2 hours and 2 minutes, rated PG-13. Genre on Rotten Tomatoes says action, mystery, and thriller. And IMDb says action, thriller. So I looked up IMDb's rubric for mystery. I'm not going to read the other ones because I've done it in other pods, but I question the mystery bit from Rotten Tomatoes. It says, should contain numerous interrelated scenes of one or more characters endeavoring to widen their knowledge of anything pertaining to themselves or others. Note, usually but not always associated with crime. And here's the examples they give. The Girl on the Train from 2016, Gone Girl from 2014, and Winter's Bone from 2010. This is not a mystery.
No.
I for sure agree with IMDb's action thriller. That's awesome. I like that.
And as far as mystery, like they would usually keep you guessing. This movie didn't it let you know in the first 5 minutes what was going on here.
Yeah. This is not a hard sell to try to figure out what's going on. It's very simple plot.
So I disagree with mystery.
Yeah. So I would say action thriller is good. Speaking of IMDb, they give it a rating of 6.5 out of 10 from 199,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes, however, gives it a 46% from 260 critics and 90% from 100 plus audience ratings. Critics did not like this, but audience did by 90%.
Yeah, I can probably understand both points of view.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into it. Where to watch this one right now? At the time of this recording, you can stream this only on Netflix, as it is a Netflix joint. And there are rumors that I read about that since it had a theatrical release, you might be able to buy this on Blu-ray, but I kind of think it's unlikely. So,
agreed.
If you choose the highest tier of our Patreon account, you'll have access to the Popcorn Priest permanent collection. Go to patreon.com/Popcorn Priest for details. And now we come to the becoming the most popular section and category of should you watch this is Popcorn Reviews the Reviews. And of course, this is where I cherry pick some of the worst just normal people reviews, and then some of the, most 10 out of 10 reviews, and we kind of pick them apart. I'm going to start off with the worst ones first and then end on the 10 out of 10s. Absolute crap, says T-Bear817. He says, or she, I don't know if T-Bear is a lady or a guy. This movie is horrible. Everything I hate about movies. This has a colitis group directing one and that's like butt problems, right? Colitis is like you have diarrhea, right?
It is.
Yeah. So she's saying this colitis group directing 1 to 2 second action scenes over and over again, ludicrous, absurd, preposterous special effects, and fight scenes. It wants to be Mission Impossible, James Bond, and Jason Bourne, and instead it's just a mess. Terrible. Every cliche on earth. Ugh. 1 out of 10 stars. This is really aggressive.
I just picture this person grading papers and like some kid crying because he got a D- on a paper. Yeah. That's what I picture with this person.
Yeah, T-Bear needs to calm down. Easy
T-Bear.
Needs to take a gummy or two and slow his roll.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, here's another one. This I don't know how to pronounce this username. Afpugals. Afpugals. AFPUGALS says 90% fighting, 10% movie. With Ryan Gosling, Billy Bob Thornton, and Ana de Armas, I didn't expect to see anything similar to Mortal Kombat or whatever. Next time, I'd prefer to waste my time watching wrestling. What? 1 out of 10. He mentions Mortal Kombat, which is ironic because that's what we reviewed.
Here's the other thing. Would you put Billy Bob Thornton ahead of Chris Evans? So he didn't mention Chris Evans.
No, he didn't. He didn't even mention him at all. I'd rather waste my time watching wrestling. That's a hot take.
That is a hot take.
All right, last worst review just says terrible. Says energy legs. Plot straight out of a cereal box. Bland acting and oversaturated action scenes. Not worth the time spent watching. Pretty sure this was made to launder drug money because it doesn't make sense otherwise. 1 out of 10 stars.
How did he connect that? That's a stretch.
Like it's some kind of like
drug money.
Yeah, it's like
is
some
that
kind
a known thing in the industry?
Yeah, like I've heard it said in reviews before where like they just wanted to launder some money. They put it in some kind of shelter like corporation so they could just spend a ton of money. I don't know. It's funny.
Got it. That is funny.
All right, here are the over the top reviews. Listen up, folks. We all could use some escapist fun, says Michael Lee 66777. With all that is currently going on in the country, I don't know where he hails from, probably America, and everyone can use a little escape from the day-to-day grind. This is not an Academy Award-winning film, so don't rate it as one, folks. But for what it is, pure escapist fun. This is an excellent movie. Action-packed, great actors, international filming location, an unbelievable plot, and some humor along the way. Everything I was looking for in a Saturday night flick. Also, Ryan Gosling is my man crush. Please don't tell anyone. Sit back, relax. Well, you just told everyone, buddy. Relax and have a little fun. Isn't that what the movies are for sometimes? 10 out of 10 stars.
So, look, I love the review. But here's my thing. It's like, listen, folks, these people didn't sit down, right, and come out and say, hey, I want an Academy Award for special effects. No. They just wanted to entertain. I'm sure that these people set out to win Academy Awards in whatever they were doing.
I mean, I don't know,
what is
dude.
they talking about?
I really feel like Netflix is like, here's $200 million. Go make a spectacle for us so that we can have a something that people are going to want to watch. That's what I think it is.
Sure.
I don't think they were wanting to
none
make...
of these actors.
Yeah.
None of these actors are going in to this movie for an Academy Award. Agreed. But the special effects people are like the cinematographers are, and they tried. Some of the fight scenes with the glows and things like they tried.
I mean, yeah,
in the end, he's right.
I mean, these guys, the directors, have directed some of the biggest hits of all time. I mean, granted, they were Marvel movies, and that's kind of banking on the fact that people are going to want to see those, but they did an amazing job. So, yeah, it's not an Academy Award winning film, but I kind of agree with Michael Lee 66777. But we'll keep going. All right, here's another one. Monage Thang Dix. Montage. I can't say it. I don't know. I think I said Dix, but I'm not. I don't know.
I did hear Dix.
He says it's a good movie, man. Ignore other people's opinions. Just watch it if you like action. For Gosling fans whose favorite movie was Drive, this feels like a slightly pumped up, dumbed down version of that character, with significantly more to say about how he doesn't actually have more to say. 10 out of 10 stars. I
love Drive.
I do love Drive. I disagree that this is his character is basically Drive, but maybe him as an actor.
Nothing like it.
I think Ryan Gosling has much more breadth than other actors like a Vince Vaughn or, something like that.
He's got a ton of range, and I don't think he gets enough credit for it.
I agree.
Because he's just the absolute superstar. Everything he's in, you want more of.
Yeah, I really love watching him. He's awesome.
And he's done like you said, Drive wasn't exactly like a blockbuster. Beyond the Pines, I don't know if you ever saw that.
I did see that.
Great in that.
Yeah, he was great in that as well.
So, like, I think that he is a top 5, at least top 10 male actor.
Yeah, underappreciated for sure, I think.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, I got 2 more over the top reviews. Awesome Creator says, fasten your seatbelt. Don't listen to the critics who always tend to overanalyze everything and miss out on the actual entertainment. This movie, while somewhat predictable and has a repetitive storyline, was so much fun to watch. It was action-packed from start to finish. I enjoyed it and believe you will too. 10 out of 10 stars.
Like I've never heard such a backhand compliment in a movie review.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love most of the 10 out of 10 reviews were like, please don't listen to the critics. This is fun. So I just think it's funny. All right. The last one, but not least, Marinated Ribs says, I immediately liked this. I'm not a film critic. Thanks for telling us that. Therefore, I won't even attempt to use fancy words. So to put it simple, I loved every second of this film. The cinematography, the camera angles, the music, the acting, aesthetics, just everything. And may I mention how refreshing it is to watch a movie where not everything is sexualized. Mind you, I did watch it with my dad and boyfriend, so I was quite relieved when we did not come across a surprise sex scene. I'm sure that this movie is not perfect and can be torn apart by millions of critics, she says. But why not just watch a movie to watch a movie and enjoy it? Really love this movie. I will watch it every Thursday. 10 out of 10 stars.
Wow. Every Thursday?
Every Thursday, she's watching The Gray Man. That's how good it is for her.
It's good to have goals in life.
All right, man. Let's get into should or shouldn't you watch this. I got 5 reasons why you should watch this. You add to it at the end, okay?
Okay.
Number 1, if you like James Bond or the Bourne movies, or I would even argue Mission Impossible movies, I think this is for you. Yes? No?
Yeah.
It's
no, 100% yes.
It's for sure not those movies, but if you like that genre, I think you'd be into this.
Yeah, it's like if your county fair, Disneyland, and Wendover all had a menage a trois and had a baby, this is it.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty good. It's just mashup after mashup of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, if you're already paying for Netflix, okay, this is a solid weekend choice.
Yeah, look, I think I said this before about Netflix, and my father saw a meme and turned me on to this meme where the wife is like, hey, we got 45 minutes to kill. What do you want to do? And the guy says, why don't we get on Netflix and try to find something to watch?
Yeah.
And look, if you have Netflix, then you know what I'm talking about here. So just go to The Gray Man and turn it on. Yeah,
like you could do worse by spending 30 minutes scrolling and trying to find something that's probably, not going to.
Yeah.
This has a huge budget. This is for sure fun to watch on a Saturday night when you just want something to watch. So that's number 2.
True. Absolutely.
Number 3, if you want to see Ana de Armas wear the most clothes she's ever worn in any movie, this is for you. I'll just leave it at that.
I don't know how many of us root for that part, but okay.
I'm not rooting for that either. Number 4, if you want to see Captain America really ham it up as a bad guy, then this is for you.
Ham it up is good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he does. He's hamming it up for sure. And last but not least, number 5, if you want to just turn your brain off and get some treats and some beverages and have fun for 2 hours, this is fine for everybody.
I'm sure just based on some of the previous pods, listeners are going to know that I had my Coca-Cola.
There you go.
Okay. Coca-Cola, not Coke from the 80s, Coca-Cola.
Okay,
And
thanks for that.
I had some M&M crisps, and yeah, man, you just turn it off. Go watch it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Any other reasons why you'd add before we get into by the numbers?
I mean, Gosling is just great, and his character, I think they probably wanted him to be something much more of what he was in this, but I actually think he tempered it perfectly, and he was great. So I would say Gosling was absolutely amazing. So if you're a Gosling fan, 100%.
And this is something that when you just said that, I kind of thought about his performance. And listen, this film has a lot of the, protagonists who can never die. Like he can get shot at 1 million times and never die. But for some reason, I believed it a little bit with him because he had this way about him where he's just like, oh my gosh, I got to do this again. Like he did this subtle performance where you're like, he's kind of playing to the fact that, okay, I'm going to get beat up. I got to suture a wound. Right. I've got to do all this stuff to like heal up for the next fight. And you could see it in his face. Like, okay, here we go. I liked that.
Yeah, no, it was great. Like this was quintessential Ryan Gosling action flick, just great. So if you're a Gosling fan, this movie is I finished the movie wanting. I wish I would have seen more Gosling.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you could have more Gosling on this, but I actually still felt like I needed more.
I agree. All right, let's get into by the numbers.
For God's sake, just give me the damn number!
All right. I already kind of spoiled it, but this had a a budget of $200 million, which is a lot.
Wow.
So,
okay.
And we don't have a box office haul because this was released. I know it was in theaters briefly, but I wanted to look up the streaming numbers, and there was actually quite a bit about it. And I want to share this with you because it's really interesting to me because it's like that's kind of, we have this hybrid movie going experience where you got the theater where you're paying money to go see it, and then you got all the streaming stuff. So
have they, before you say this, because this is something we talked about previously, have you found any articles or any equations that allow you to draw parallels? Like as if it were to be?
No, nothing.
Yeah, like how do you even know is it just based on streams?
Yeah, I don't know how you would draw a parallel to know like if this was successful or not based on like dollar amount sales. And to be quite frank, Jimmy Kimmel said this on a podcast a long time ago that I was listening to. He has beef with how we track ticket sales by money. He feels like it should be just the amount of the ticket, not the dollar amount, but how many tickets were sold. Because that'll tell you how popular it was. Because someone could go buy, 4 tickets and go see it multiple times. But because the dollar amount changes throughout the years, it's not a very good representation. So I think
I agree with that. And I guess that goes to this, right?
Yeah. Like, so we don't know. Like,
I guess we'll probably have to start saying, okay, this streamed this many, and this movie that was also an acclaimed success streamed this many.
Yeah, which I did find. So at least I have some other comparisons, so we can compare other streaming titles and see how it like stacks up with those guys, which is, I think, interesting. So if you don't like this, skip ahead because we're going to get into some numbers. That's what this category is, people. They put The Gray Man at ending its 28-day run with around 250 million hours streamed, which would make it the number 4 Netflix movie of all time if that comes to pass.
Wow.
And then I found in another source called Gamer Rant, they say And this was early on. So that was towards a 28-day run. This was a 3-week total, which was 224 million hours in less than 3 weeks. And they were saying it's on track to beat some of Netflix's biggest hits. And in that same article, they had an update at the end of the article. And it says, now Netflix has announced that The Gray Man is currently 6th place for the largest amount of hours viewed in the first 28 days for an English language film on Netflix. It has been watched for nearly 224 million hours so far, placing it just behind 2020's Chris Hemsworth action vehicle Extraction, which I've seen and it was fun, which received 231 million hours with 10 days left in its run. And I don't understand the run, right? It's on Netflix. Like, do they only calculate it after 30 days? And so that's where it gets confusing because they keep saying it's
I think
run.
that they do but they do something similar to that with box office.
True, where it leaves the box office.
Yeah.
But like this is infinite. Like it's always going to be on Netflix. So I guess they just want to pick a time frame where like, okay, after 30 days, how does it stack up with everything else? But it goes on to say The Gray Man will most likely pass Extraction and The Atom Project, which I also watched and I enjoyed, with 233 million views to rest in 4th place. It is less likely, but still conceivable that it might even surpass Sandra Bullock's Bird Box with 282 million hours viewed. However, second place's Don't Look Up, which I haven't seen, which I guess I need to, 360 million hours. And in first place as the champion, Red Notice for 364 million hours viewed.
What is it?
Red Notice. Have you seen that one?
Never heard of it.
It's got Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and Gal Gadot.
I thought Don't Look Up was a terrible movie, but I love Leonardo DiCaprio, so I would actually say don't watch it because it's pretty stupid. But so I mean, this is, and I'm probably going to get a bunch of like comments saying that I should stay in Brazil or something because of Don't Look Up is crap, but it is really crap. I didn't even finish it, so but anyway,
that's fine.
It sounds to me like it was a pretty big success then, clearly.
And I looked this up even more because I was interested. I'm like, okay, if this is number 4 and it had such bad critic ratings, but such high audience ratings and streaming hours, Netflix invested record amounts, which we talked about, 200 million in The Gray Man. And despite mixed reviews, the film seems to have been a hit for the streamer. In fact, The Gray Man has already earned a sequel and a spin-off, indicating Netflix is more than pleased with its investment. I didn't know. That was the first time I heard about a sequel.
Well, and this is a book, right?
Yeah, I read about that. I want to get into it a little bit more next week, but it is a book. Yeah, for sure. And there's more in the series.
Yeah. I'll hold what I'll say till next week.
Okay.
About sequels and that.
All right. I love it. Some more numbers. The $200 million budget makes it the most expensive Netflix original movie, tied with Red Notice, and The Irishman was rumored to have cost as much as $250 million, but sources reported its budget was around 160. So those 3 movies were the most highest budget film of Netflix so far.
The Irishman was unwatchable as well.
I mean, the way I got through The Irishman was I treated it like a mini series. I watched
maybe that was my mistake because I couldn't finish it.
Dude, I watched 45 minutes at a time and I was like, okay, that was a good first episode. Because it was so long.
Maybe I need to go back and do that. Man, it drug and drug and drug.
Yeah. And I feel like at the time, which was only in 2019, when they were doing like de-aging and stuff, it wasn't as good as it is now, even 3 years later.
Yeah, it looked bad.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. Last but not least, which this falls in to by the numbers and you'll find out why, but 6 twice asks another character if they're a 42 regular. 2 times. That's a number.
Yep, I remember both.
Yep. I think that's it. That's it for this week. Do you want to give our quasi rating, we won't give the final rating till next week, but I think you should watch this.
Yeah, I think if we just give our quick opinion, I think that everybody should absolutely watch this.
Yeah, it's very watchable.
100%. Like, there's no reason not to watch this, and you're not going to come out of it going, why the F did I just waste 2 hours of my life? Like, that's not going to happen. You're going to come out of it going, oh, that was a good little distraction. It's like everything you heard in those reviews. Like, turn your brain off for a couple hours, forget this busy world.
Yeah.
You and I talked for a little bit before we jumped on this about some of the pressures that life is bringing right now, and this is a great escape. So
yeah,
turn it on.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. At this point, there's going to be spoilers up ahead. So if you want to watch and then come back next week and join us for a breakdown of The Gray Man from 2022. I am on the social medias. I dare you to message the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. I love movies and would love it if you'd share the love. Share this with the movie lover in your life. Another way to support the show is by throwing a few shekels at the priest. Visit patreon.com/Popcorn Priest for details and see what extra perks you can enjoy. Lastly, the easiest way to support the show and the most free is like and subscribe. And give us a 5-star review. Easier than starting your car. If you have a push button car, it's easy. Just go give us a review. And as always, thanks for listening. And thanks to my special guest, Dan Sakulich. Always a pleasure, my man. Join us next week for part 2 of The Gray Man. See you guys next week.